Good evening, everybody. Calysta here with YogaZo. It's wonderful to have you guys. I did place a playlist in the chat as usual if you would like to follow along with my jams. If not, you can find your own playlists and get those bad boys teed up, as well as any props or maybe water bottles or any towels that you might be using in your practice this evening. We're going to get started in just a moment or two here, maybe allowing another couple seconds for some others to join. So I just want to preface by saying last time I taught, last Thursday night, we had a weird glitch where my the streaming quality kind of just paused, and so it took me a few minutes to notice. So if that happens, it was pretty easy. I just had to refresh my side. Don't leave the class, just kind of keep your eyes on the screen. And hopefully by me signing out, refreshing, signing back in, everything will come back up. So in the event that that happens, which we're going to cross our fingers and set our intentions that it does not, I just rest assured that you should stay tuned and we will hopefully figure everything out on my end. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to press play on my music if you guys have some to follow along with, or again, if you joined us after I mentioned, there's a playlist in the link in the chat. In this class, we're going to do a little bit of kind of a full body. I recorded a class recently and it's posted live if you're a member of YogaZo Online, and it is undoing the work from home slump, as we call it. So it's really just breaking up stagnancy or maybe some pain or tension that we create by being seated, being slouched, being kind of still at a computer. And so I'm going to take elements from that class and maybe encourage some of y'all to get online and take that full flow. It's a little longer than I intended to be, so it is 75 minutes. If you do find yourself with a few extra moments, I would totally recommend it. So let's go ahead and get started in Shavasana, or corpse pose. That may be lying all the way down on your back. And if that ever does not work for you, you can try any other version. Maybe you take your feet to the mat with your knees pointing up towards the sky. Tucking your pelvis under for a flat spine, draw the shoulder blades a little closer together so you can walk them out of the ears. And I say to plant the feet with the knees up. If you have any lower back issues or pain or tension, this is a great modification for your first posture. Sometimes we cannot find stillness whatsoever at all on our backs, and we may need to try lying on the side or on the belly. The point is to choose a posture that you can become completely still in, completely comfortable. In order to become nice and present in our practice, we have to be comfortable with where we are. So not trying to force anything, except for stillness maybe, is the only thing that I want you to really, really try to focus on. So maybe if you need to get any jitters or moving or adjusting your body, your clothes, get those movements out of the way so you can allow yourself just to be still. We're going to start to notice the body, using this first posture to just kind of grab some awareness of where we might be, whether that's physically, where the physical body might be, or whether we have maybe some emotional stuff going on. And we want to always tailor our practice to those needs of the physical and emotional and spiritual bodies. So by just jumping into the postures, we don't give ourselves the time to ask the question, where do you need the love tonight? So with the eyes closed, hopefully you can breathe nice and gently. And just take mental note. In order to help with a little bit of presence, or try not to become distracted, we're going to switch our breathing now to our Ujjayi breath. Our Ujjayi breath happens through the nose. So we're going to take an inhale and let the breath travel nice and deep along the spinal column all the way up to the crown of the head. We're going to keep the lips closed and we're going to exhale through the nose. Try to constrict your throat so you can become more audible with your breath on the out, on the exhale. Once you release all the air from the lungs, we're going to take it right back up. Inhale. And exhale, release. Remembering to keep the lips closed, we're going to try holding this pace or this cadence throughout class. If you start to notice your heart rate begins to pick up, the first step would be to check back in with your Ujjayi breath. It helps to get us out of that fight or flight mode of the central nervous system. And coming back to this idea of presence, it also helps to keep us right here, right now. You've done enough thinking today. You've put in all the effort. So now is the time to cater back to yourself, even if it's just for this hour. We're going to start to set an intention now, finding something that you would like to dedicate your class to. Maybe it's something that you've been working on for a while, or you can completely start new. Your intention can be a simple word or a feeling, a goal, or you can be kind of more on the letting go side of something you want to release. Try to dig deep tonight rather than just scratching the surface, and really tune in to what it is that you want and need in your life. And we'll use our energy, our postures, our breathing to try to get you closer to accomplishing that intention. When you have that intention set, we're going to seal it with one big breath as we sigh it with an exhale out the mouth. So take that breath in through the nose. Again, start at the base of the spinal column, and then work your way all the way up through the rib cage, heart, throat, all the way to the crown of the head. And then open those lips and really let that sigh go. Release all the air from the lungs. And then coming back to our inhale. The lips are closed now and we're back in Ujjayi breath. Knowing that this class is yours, so I hope and wish that you would do whatever feels right for you. Whether that's taking it up a notch or taking it down a notch, taking a break at any point. Try to respect your body and where it's at tonight. Always in my classes. When you're ready, we're going to start to wake the body by slowly wiggling through the fingers and toes. And then we're going to take the feet to the mat if you have not made it quite there yet. If you took Shavasana in any other posture, let's try to meet here. We won't be here for too long. So the knees are pointed up. Again, the shoulders are soft. The arms are out by the sides. And we're just going to slowly rock the knees right to left. We're gently warming up our spine before we find some twists. Just creating a little movement to start. And as we create that movement, making sure that you haven't lost your breath. Let's take the knees back towards the center of the mat, nice and still. And then inhale, draw them into the belly and chest. If you can, let's take the arms around the shins. Either you grab for the wrists or you can reach all the way for the elbows. The hips may be kind of tight for that first thing. You can check in. Maybe you just take the hands behind the thighs. Either way, we just want to slowly draw the knees into the belly. Try not to cross through those ankles. And let's keep the tailbone down and the spine flat. Feeling those hip joints, the hip creases. And then let's release the grip slightly. Keep the right knee in and extend the left leg all the way to a hover. We're going to flex the toes and we're not going to let that foot drop. We're going to take the fingertips around the right shin and draw it into the belly and chest for an amplified wind removing posture. The right foot's flexed. If you need to relax your left foot down, you can totally do so. Try to keep the shoulders soft and allow only the biceps to pull that right knee in. Notice if your core here is engaged, you would like it to be, so you can hold this left foot in the air. Beautiful job. From here, let's lower that left foot down. Release the grip around the right shin, and then we're going to take a half happy baby pose. So right elbow inside the right knee, and then the hand grabs a hold of the outside edge of the foot here. Now we're taking that foot towards the sky. I want you to take your left hand to your left hip so you can keep your left hip grounded. As you start to open, just like you would in happy baby posture, the foot flexes towards the sky. You kick your foot into your fingertips while you pull down at the same time to get a little hip opener. Take 2 breaths here. And last exhale. Let's inhale, bring it back to center. And then we're going to guide our right knee over towards the left for a full spinal twist. Keep the right shoulder connected down to the mat. You can relax your left foot. And then you can take your arms in whatever posture feels right for you. Maybe it's a big T. Maybe it's a cactus, depending on how much room you have. Try to look over your right shoulder. See if you can guide your twist a little bit more open. And maybe your left hand finds your right leg. That's could be a lot for our first twist, so be very gentle with your spine. Let's take 2 breaths. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Let's release that knee if we've got a hold of it, so we can inhale and bring it back to center. Left knee meets the right. We're going to reset our spine, so bring chin to chest, forehead to knees. You can wrap around your shins. A little ball as we lie down here, chin to chest, forehead up. And exhale, slowly release the head and the neck back down. We're going to take those arms, we're going to uncross them around the legs, and then we're going to float. Our knees are going to stack over our hips, and then those ankles are going to be stacked pretty much underneath the knees with the feet flexed. And then from here, we're going to take the hands overhead, reach them up, inhale. And as you exhale, let's take them and cross them behind the back of the head. Now try to keep your knees over your hips for this, engage your core, and lead with your heart. We're going to inhale, start to fire up that core, lift the chest, draw the chin towards the ceiling, exhale, lower down. Keep the legs nice and steady where they are. Inhale up, exhale, lower. Imagine you have a block and you're squeezing it between your thighs. Inhale up, exhale, lower. Inhale, one more. Exhale from here. We're going to pulse. Keep your breath moving, pulsing baby crunches for 10, for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the head, the neck down. Draw the knees into the belly and chest. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, release. Let's take the right leg down towards the mat this time. We're going to flex the feet. Grab the fingertips around your left shin and bring it in towards the belly and chest. Start to activate your core. Float that right leg up. Remember the hover, a couple inches off the mat. Biceps pull that left knee in, wind removing posture on the left side. Take a couple breaths here, left side, let's go. Starting to feel an activation in our quad, and let's slowly lower that right leg down. From here, half happy baby, let's take the elbow inside the left knee this time. Grab a hold of the outside edge of the left foot. Start to walk that foot towards the sky and take the right hand to the right hip to ground it down. Just opening that left hip a little bit. And let's take 2 slow and steady breaths. Slowly come back up on the inhale. And as you exhale, guide your left knee over to the right side for a spinal twist. Find your arm placement that makes sense. And look opposite your leg, so over towards your left. If you're feeling flexible in your spine yet, you can take your right hand toward your knee and try to guide your twist a little further. So far we've got a little bit of the core, we've got a little bit of the hips, the spine, the quadriceps. Let's take one more inhale and one more exhale. And next inhale, we come back to center. Our right leg comes up and we reset the spine, chin to chest, forehead up. Exhale, lower the head and neck down towards the mat. Let's take the feet to the sky, waterfall posture. Straight legs if you can. If not, don't worry about it too much. Flexing those feet towards the face. You'll start to feel the hamstrings when you do so. Let's start to point the toes towards the sky and flex and point a couple times. We're going to start to engage that core some more. An a modification for this that I find works if you need it is to take the forearms under the hips a little bit. So you're not resting directly on the mat. The fingertips are spread wide and you're kind of holding your butt, your hips up with your arms. However you guys want to get there, engage the core. As you exhale, we're going to lower the heels slowly down to float or hover above your mat. And then we're going to inhale nice and slow, bring it back up. We're going to do 5 of these, warming up that core a little more. You can use your own breath, your own pace. Try to focus on the breath so you can stay present and so you can talk yourself through what may be challenging. You can try it without the modification and see how that changes. And I'm on the last one. Maybe you have another one to go. We'll all meet with the knees into the belly and chest. The fingertips around the shins. And then we're just going to start to slowly rock and roll it up and down our spine. A couple times before we find our way seated in easy pose. In easy pose, we cross the ankles. We move the booty flesh out of the way so we can ground the sits bones down. We're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm facing you guys. You can face forward if you'd like. And then we're just going to start to take the shoulders up on an inhale to the ears. Exhale them down and back. 2 more, inhale them up. Exhale down and back. 1 more, inhale up. Exhale down and back. From here, let's take it centered. So we're stacked, our shoulders are over the hips. And then we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder. Getting a little bit of a neck stretch in. If you'd like, you can take your right hand up and over to the left ear. You're not pulling, but you're simply just using the weight of your palm to guide your neck stretch. Watch your right shoulder. If it was creeping up, see if you can relax it down. 2 breaths here. And then the exhale, let's take the right hand down to the mat. Inhale the eye gaze back up to center. And then over to the left ear, left shoulder. Maybe grounding the left hand down on the mat. And then if you would like to, you can take it up to the right ear. Again, don't pull. Watch your left shoulder, 2 breaths. One more breath. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, release the palm, bring it back to center. And now we're going to take the hands up. We're going to interlace them, our Venus lock grip behind the back of the head. Elbows reach out to the side. As you exhale, let's take the elbows towards each other as you bring your chin to your chest. Again, we're not pulling down on the head. We're simply just allowing the back of the neck to open. If you have any injuries that would make this not make sense for you, please skip it. You can slowly start to rock the head, maybe right, maybe left. And then let's come back to center. Eye gaze, bring it all the way up. Bring the palms back out to the sides, and now let's roll over the knees so we can find ourselves in tabletop pose. You can also just simply swing the legs around towards the side. You want to make sure your shoulders are over your palms and your knees are over your hips are over your knees. Fingertips spread wide. Let's take it into cat-cow, opening up the spine a little bit more. Drop the belly, inhale, look up. Exhale, round and curl, chin to chest, forehead looks, brings it down. And let's inhale, lift one more time. This time you maybe want to hold it for a couple breaths. And then let's round and curl, taking it back into cat. Inhale, let's come back to neutral. And then from here, we're going to take those knees off the mat. So wanting to make sure that your palms are nice and grounded, your fingertips are wide, and the weight's in your pointer and thumb so we can activate the core safely. Inhale, let's hover the knees. Make sure your shoulders are still over the palms. Let's take 3 breaths. See if you can keep your nose doing the work here. Last one. And then let's tuck those toes and then start to keep your knees bent as we find down dog nice and gently. So we draw the hips back and we have a pretty gigantic bend in the knees to start. We really want to see if we can start to lengthen our spine before worrying about what the legs are doing. So let's slowly maybe shake the head out, yes and no. And imagine your spine nice and flat. The fingertips are wide as you slowly start to straighten through those hamstrings a little bit. You can shake your head yes and no, moving it around if you feel like you're holding it up. And once you find downward facing dog, fullest expression, if it feels good, you can bend to one knee, straightening the other, walking that dog. This will be our resting posture of the night. If you would like to ever take tabletop where we just came from instead, be my guest. Awesome, let's take our static downward facing dog. And then take the right leg up behind us. Flexing the toes down towards the mat. And let's see if we can draw that heel taller. Keep the hips nice and level with each other and keep your head soft. Put a bend through your right knee. The shoulders stay nice and squared. Start to draw that right knee towards the sky. Do not lift your hips so much that your shoulders become out of alignment with one another. If so, draw your shoulders back, engage your core, and draw the knee in towards the left thigh. 3 big times. And then 3 big circles the other direction. And then we'll meet in that 3-legged dog, extending the right leg out. And then exhaling, bending that knee, bringing it forward. Plant your foot in between your palms, lower your left knee down to the mat. Let's take the toes softly down as we set up for our low lunge. Right knee over ankle, fingertips to the mat, draw the heart and chest forward. Draw the shoulders out of the ears. From here, let's take, if you would like to, you can take the palms on top of the right thigh and sink your hips forward. Make sure they're both facing the same direction. Getting into our hips a little deeper and into our psoas. It's so good to work the hips after we're stagnant, after we're seated all day. So let's hold this low, deep low lunge for 5 breaths, and then we'll take it up a notch. After that 5th breath, let's just unravel the palms, bring them back down, take it into half splits, straightening the right leg, flexing the right toes to the sky. Keep your eye gaze and your heart lifted. If you need to walk the fingertips back or if you need to place blocks underneath your palms, you can do so. So lifting the heart, lifting the chest, and then exhale, you can take it down into more of a forward fold style. As you start to awaken the back of the right leg, getting into that hamstring. Let's take 3 breaths. And then inhale, let's stack the knee over the ankle. And now we're going to find another set of lunge here, but this time we're going to start to get the quad into it on the left side. So slowly bend your left leg, draw the heel towards the glutes. See if you can lift your heart and chest forward. Again, make sure your knee doesn't pass your toes on the right. Maybe you can come all the way up off the mat. Maybe you prop yourself up on blocks. We're going to challenge ourselves. See if you can take it there. We're going to grab the foot or the ankle. Notice your heart starting to open, as well as your psoas, getting deep into the hip on the left. That psoas is a very magical muscle. It essentially connects our upper body to our lower body. So a tight psoas can lead to limited mobility in the body. These postures they can be sometimes uncomfortable, but they should not be painful. And only you can determine the difference between those two. So if you feel it, your body's telling you back out, please back out. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Maybe each exhale you can draw that left heel in closer towards your booty, towards your lower back. Last breath here. And then we slowly lower the left foot down. Let's take the hands to frame the right toes. And then from here, we're going to start to take the left toes and tuck them underneath us so we can draw that knee off the mat. Firing up that core so we can release our right leg back to our plank posture, our very first plank. Shoulders are over the palms. You can always modify with the knees down, so check in with where you might be. Pressing into the mat so we can separate the shoulder blades. Elbows squeeze in tight for our very first chaturanga flow. As you exhale, lower your weight down halfway, squeezing the elbows by the sides. And then inhale back up to plank. Using your core, exhale, lower down, untuck the toes. Draw the heart and chest forward. Looking up. Exhale, let's lower slowly through those knees, cobra. And then exhale, bring it all the way down. Take the palms, keep them by your sides. They're about stacked under your shoulders or so. And we're going to find a little bit of work for our lower back now, squeezing those legs together. Let's slowly start to inhale the chest and the palms and the chin off the mat. Exhale, pulse. Drawing it up. Not losing the breath. Think of the crunches that we did earlier, this time working our back. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, reach it all the way up. And exhale, lower it all the way down. Let's tuck those toes under and release it all the way back up, downward facing dog. Notice the difference in your legs, your hips after one side. Walk it out if you need to. Take tabletop if you need to. We're going to take the left leg up. Draw the toes down. Keep the hips squared. Put a bend through your left leg. Start to draw that knee towards the sky. Again, make sure your shoulders stay both facing forward and your hips are level. Let's start to draw circles in towards the right thigh with that left knee. We have 3 in and 3 out. After those 6, let's meet in 3-legged dog. And then use your core to exhale, draw that left knee through, plant your foot. in between your palms, lower your right knee down. Untuck your right toes. Draw your heart and chest forward. Look up, forward through your eye gaze. Finding our low lunge on this opposite side. Left knee is forward. Make sure your knee's over your ankle. And let's start to take it up. Fingertips interlace, and we're going to come on top of that left thigh. Try to avoid the knee. Don't rest on the knee, and sink your hips forward. Draw your shoulders down and back. We have about 3 more breaths here, so we just start to prep the hips before we take our deeper version of this stretch. Last one here, let's take a slow inhale and a slow exhale. And then from here, let's take the palms back down to the mat and then straighten through your leg, half splits, left toes up. Inhale, bring the heart and chest forward. Again, use your props under your fingertips, or you can walk your hands back a bit, checking in with your flexibility this evening. If you want to take it further through that hamstring, you can exhale and slowly lower as you hinge the hips down. Notice the difference between leading with the head and hinging at the hips to lead with the heart. Feel that difference in the back of the leg. Continuing your Ujjayi breath, coming back into your intention that we set before we started class. We are using this energy and we are sending it that direction. So if you feel your mind wander, you're questioning what you're doing here while you're going through all this with your body, reassure yourself that it's to accomplish your intention. Let's inhale, left knee over ankle. Bring the heart and chest forward. Take the hands out to the side so you can bend your right knee. Grab a hold of that foot, ankle on the right. Use a strap if you can't reach with your hands. Often our yoga mats come with a little strap around them. That's a great version. And slowly start to sink your way into your right psoas. Make sure your left foot is nice and strong in the mat. Your ankle, your left quad, your hips are forward. And we're just going to stay a little bit here. Whether you work at a desk or in front of a computer all day or not, you can never go wrong with psoas stretches or with hip stretches. Think of maybe the last time you did something this intense for your body. It doesn't happen very often. A little bit of this every day can lead to some instrumental changes in your body. Let's take 5 more breaths. I know it's challenging. Maybe you close your eyes, breathe your intention in, and send all the doubt out through your exhale. We are about halfway there. Take a couple more breaths. And then exhale, slowly release the right foot, top of the foot down, the fingertips on the mat. We're going to tuck the right toes under and take the knee off the mat. And we're going to draw the left foot back to plank. Ease your core. Shoulders over wrists. Again, pressing your palms into the mat, separating your shoulders. Find your chaturanga, lower it down halfway. Inhale back up. Exhale down and through, up dog. And we're going to take it right back into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, draw it all back. Notice now your downward facing dog that we got both sides out of the way. And walk your dog. Remember when I said this was a resting posture, this is what I mean. Let's take 5 breaths. If you need to, rather come down to the knees, take a drink or towel off. That's a great option too. Take tabletop, whatever that might be. This is about 5 breaths. If you're ready to keep on moving, let's start to walk our fingertips and our hands together, our feet and our hands together to that Uttanasana posture or forward fold. The feet are touching. We have a soft bend in the knees. And then we hinge at the hips so we can exhale the crown of the head heavy and down. Let's slowly start to inhale and round nice and gently, nice and slow. Palms through heart center, reach them overhead. Squeeze those glutes, cactus your arms, shine your heart forward, exhale out the mouth. We'll do one more, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bow, or you can swan dive. Just make sure you hinge at the hips and you find your way back down, forward fold. Slowly halfway lift, engage your core, and inhale, crown of the head comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms, hop or step back to plank. We're gonna get some full body flow in. And exhale, take chaturanga. Reaching up with the heart. Coming back to down dog. Inhale, eye gaze to the fingertips so you can meet your palms and your feet together, however you want to get there. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Soft bend in the knees, inhale, reach up. Palms all the way up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, bring it back up. This time on your exhale, stick your tongue out for a lion's breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, you can swan dive or you can bow it back down. Hinge at the hips for forward fold. Inhale to reset, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those palms, hop or step back to plank. And exhale, chaturanga. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. And then we're going to meet in forward fold, however you want to get there. Feet are touching. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the crown down. Let's start to bend the knees and take the chest to those thighs so we can release our lower back and give those hamstrings a nice break. Crown of the head hangs nice and heavy. Let's take the hands and interlace them at the lower back. And then if your shoulders are up for it, we're going to start to walk those hands forward. And just allow the hands to rest and the shoulders to open. Keep your head heavy. If you need to shake it out, do so. Let's take 2 more breaths here, giving our shoulders a nice good opening. And then as you exhale, we're going to release slowly, palms back to lower back. And then to the lower, we're going to lower the hands, swipe them all the way down the backs of the legs. Coming back into forward fold, you can straighten through those legs now. And then we're going to inhale the palms to the sky. Keep the feet together. Exhale, drop the hips, chair pose. Tuck the pelvis under. Draw the shoulders down and back. Make sure you can see your toes. If not, shoot your knees back. Optional pulse here if you want to take the hips up and down as you activate through the ankles, the calves, the quads, even the core. Pulsing for 10, for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You guys got this. Couple more. And then inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, bring it up. Let's start to take the right hand behind us, circling, opening the shoulder up just a bit more here for a couple standing postures. And we're going to take the right elbow to the right hip crease with the palm facing towards the sky. Left foot grounds down, left hand stays up, bicep by the ear. And we're going to take the right foot off the mat and draw it back for the glutes. Take the right hand and grab a hold of the inside of that foot. We're going to start to open the heart a little bit more, countering our bad posture with our Lord of the Dance posture. So making sure the hip stays facing forward and the left knee doesn't lock out. We're going to start to draw the foot on the right into the palm. You'll feel the shoulder open and the heart open. Maybe you kick so much that you can start to hinge forward. Keep the hips nice and level with each other. If you lose your balance, just hop right back into it. Let's take a couple more breaths here. If you like affirmations, you can affirm in this posture. I am a divine channel of healing, light, and love. Now, we're going to find a hard transition here. We're going to slowly bend the left knee and take the left hand all the way down to the mat for a candy cane posture. If reaching the mat doesn't make sense, take your block under your left hand and kick your palm into your foot, keeping your balance and your strength on your left side, while also maintaining that shoulder opening. If you fall, you can get right back in. And let's go ahead and release. Straighten the right leg, stack your shoulders, flex your right foot, Ardha Chandrasana. Reach the right leg higher, and then bring the right hand down. Standing splits the hips, come forward. Taking the toes on the right and flexing them, draw the heel closer towards the sky. Walk your fingertips closer to the left foot, draw the crown down. Beautiful. From here, let's bend the right knee. Bring it into the chest. And then we're going to bring it through. Bend the left knee, sit the glutes down, and lower the right heel down towards the mat. Let's take that left foot up. And exhale, cross it over through the right. So we're seated on the glutes. They're nice and grounded. The right foot's flexed, and the left foot's grounded, crossed across the the right thigh. So reach up, sit up. And then we're going to take the right hand up. As you exhale, we're going to take the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Maybe the left hand can float behind you. This is a great twist for the stagnancy, for the computer workers like myself. Try to twist, bringing your belly button closer to your spine. If you want to look all the way over to your left side, that's great. We'll take 2 more breaths. And then we slowly inhale, bring it back up. Beautiful. Let's take the left hand up this time. And then exhale, take it to the left knee. Open that heart, spinal twist the other direction. Now from here, let's take this left hand and we're going to try to grab the foot, finding our baby grasshopper pose. That might be enough, feeling that stretch in the hamstring. Or you can take the right palm to the mat and eventually you can lean forward, bringing your foot off the mat. Try not to sink into your shoulder on the right. Prepping ourselves for some arm balances eventually. Exhale, lower the glutes and leg down. Bring it all the way back to center. Straighten the left leg. From here, let's just shake out those thighs. Shaking for 3. Shaking for 2. And for 1, draw the knees into the belly and chest. Take the elbows again. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Chin to chest, forehead down. Round and curl your spine as deep as you can. inhale, bring it back up. Fingertips come to the mat, and let's find our way into our power ball. So we're on the tippy toes, knees into the belly and chest. And let's find just another breath here to reset for a moment, activating our thyroid and helping our metabolism when we do so. Let's start to exhale the heels down and finding your way back into forward fold, or Uttanasana posture. Remembering to hinge at the hips. Let's slowly rise with our inhale. Palms reach all the way up. As you exhale, let the shoulders drop down and back, and then the left hand cartwheels open. 3 big circles here. Moving the fluid around in that shoulder joint, preparing for Lord of the Dance. So let's take the left elbow to the left hip, with the palm to the sky. Remembering to draw the right bicep by the ear. And then we're going to ground our right foot down. Keep a soft bend in your right knee as you work your way up into Lord of the Dance, bending your left foot or your left knee, grabbing a hold of the inside of that foot. You can start to open here as you kick your palm into your foot, or your foot into your palm, and then maybe hinging forward eventually, as long as your hips are both squared, meaning they're both facing forward. Remembering our affirmation from the right side. I am a divine channel of healing, light, and love. Let's find that fun transition when you're ready, bending the right knee so you can lower the right hand down to your block or to your mat for a candy cane pose. Try to keep your foot and your palm on the left connected, opening the heart, countering our seated postures. Let's release the foot into Ardha Chandrasana. Shoulders stack. Flexing the left foot, bring that heel closer up. Engage your core. And lower the left hand down. Draw the hips forward, standing splits pose. So now the hips are both facing forward. And let's draw that heel closer to the sky as we walk the fingertips closer to the right foot. Softly bend the right knee, and we're going to bend that left knee into the belly and chest. Bringing it all the way through. Feel every muscle do so until you lower your glutes down, flexing the foot and straightening it out. Fingertips are on this right shin. Let's draw it up and cross it over. Finding our spinal twist, let's take the left hand up. As you exhale, that elbow connects to the outer part of the right leg, and take the left hand or the right hand behind you. Focus on squeezing your belly button to your spine. Maybe your eye gaze walks over your right shoulder. We're going to take a few breaths here. Use it maybe as an opportunity to ground. So happy to see that our internet didn't die today. Let's inhale, release that twist in that direction, coming back to center. Take the right hand up. As you exhale, take it to the inside of the right leg. And then we're going to twist. Twisting for 3, for 2, and for 1, coming back to center. This time releasing the elbow from that leg. And we're just going to simply guide it so it takes a hold of the outer edge, the knife edge of the left foot. If you want to try this baby grasshopper pose, left hand, let's plant it about under the shoulder. You can maybe shelf your arm, so chaturanga arm on the left. And then we're just going to start to hinge our weight forward and bring this thigh, this quad, this calf, this ankle, this foot on the left off the mat. for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly bring it back down. Coming back to center, unravel the legs. Back to staff pose, shake the legs. We'll start to find a static staff pose, reaching up with the heart and chest. A micro bend in the knees helps not to lock those guys out. And then hinge at the hips, walking the fingertips forward. Try to keep your spine flat. And then you can start to hinge a little bit more. Take a round and curl in your spine if you're ready for one. And then let's slowly trace the fingertips along the legs to inhale, to rise. And as you exhale, let's bend the knees. We're gonna find boat pose and then we'll make our way to the back. And starting on core, ending on a little core. So in boat pose, you wanna make sure that your feet are separated. So your knees are about hips distance apart, meaning they're stacked under the hips. You can use a block in between your thighs here. That'll help you separate and that'll help you find some accountability to hold that separation. However you want to get there. Let's take the hands out towards the side so they're facing each other. We're on the sits bones. Maybe you need to ease into it by taking one foot off the mat at a time. Or maybe you'd like to just jump right in, 90-degree angle bend in Navasana posture. Another affirmation to leave you with, I am enough. It's simple, but it's so powerful. Drawing the heart and chest forward, try not to sink down and drop the shoulders out of the ears. You'll feel that this can be a lot for those hip creases here. If you're feeling cramping, let's try to hold and then we'll release in a moment. As you exhale, let's take those feet back down to the mat. Make your way to the middle. And then let's take the hands out to the side. We're going to engage the core some more. And then as you exhale, we're going to start to round and curl. Nice and slow, take an inhale, lift the heart and chest. Exhale another centimeter or inch down. Inhale, lift the heart and chest. Exhale, lower it down. You get the flow, inhale, chest lifts. A couple more times till we get to the back. Using your core the entire way, it stays strong. You can skip it, just try not to flop all the way down. And when you make it there, let's draw those knees into the belly and chest. Squeezing those knees in tight. And then we're going to take the elbows inside for our full happy baby. In the beginning we started with half. We're going to flex the feet, draw the fingertips to pull down on the feet. Try to keep your tailbone down. And we're opening those hips, drawing the knees towards the sides of our mat. Let's take 3 more breaths. If you're feeling playful, you can rock it side to side. Last breath, and then we meet at center. And then we'll release. Let's take the feet to the mat. We're going to take bridge next. So let's take the feet. We're walking them close to the glutes, and we still have that hips distance in between our thighs. Fingertips are down on the mat. Walk your shoulder blades underneath you. Your eye gaze stays forward. Do not look right to left. Keep your neck safe. Fingertips grip into the mat, reaching for the heels. When you're ready to inhale, peel the hips off the mat. As you ground the heels down, you have engagement in your quads, and you're reaching your belly button towards the ceiling, so it's the tallest point on your body, if you can imagine that. If you'd like to take it a little further, you can walk the shoulder blades even closer together, fingertips interlace, ground the heels, lift the hips even taller. And we'll take 3 breaths. And on that inhale, once you found it, let's slowly lower, untuck everything down. Let's take the right leg towards the sky, point those toes. Flex that foot. Put a bend in your right leg as you take the ankle to the thigh on the left. Let's first guide that knee out towards the side. And then we're going to slowly bring those thighs into the body. Maybe the fingertips behind the left leg, flexing the left foot. As we make our way into pigeon pose, our modified version. Using your elbow to open your thigh on the right. This posture is always available when the traditional pigeon is offered in yoga. It's available seated at a chair. You can do this in bed. You can literally do this pose anywhere. See if you can tug your legs in for these last couple breaths. Your exhales will help you be able to pull a little bit deeper. Try to soften your shoulders. Don't create tension there. And then we'll release the grip. And we're going to cross the right thigh and squeeze it over the left as we find floor version of cow face. So you can take the fingertips and you can grab in front of the shins, or you can grab the feet and you're pulling those feet in towards the belly and chest. This posture is one to help with posture and decompressing our lower spine. If you have lower back pain, try this guy once you're kind of healed, or once you're, I guess, not sensitive or not in pain from your lower back. Let's take 2 more breaths, seeing with those last 2 exhales if you can deepen your stretch or Gomukhasana pose. And then we're going to release. Uncrossing those thighs, let's take them down, the feet down to the mat, maybe windshield wiper here. Just trying to use this as a little bit of a reset. Knees back towards the sky, making sure your tailbone is still tucked under, and the left toes make their way up towards the sky. Flex that foot. And then we're going to start to bend the left knee, take the ankle on top of the right thigh, guide that left thigh open. When you're ready, you can interlace your fingers behind the right shin, flex the right toes. Maybe guide this elbow into your left thigh and open. As you pull with the biceps, you pull the legs in towards the body, deepening the stretch on the outer left hip. I feel like my yoga practice sometimes feels incomplete without getting some version of pigeon in. So if you're the same way, hopefully this modification helps to fill that void. You can always take regular pigeon also though. Soften your shoulders. 2 more breaths. And then we're slowly going to release the grip around the thighs. Move your left hand so you can squeeze your thighs together now, left over right. And then we're going to take the palms, grabbing a hold of the feet. We're on the outside edges of the feet. And we're pulling them in towards the body, getting a little deeper into the outer part of the left hip. Coming back to your Ujjayi breath. If you've lost it, remembering how it helps to create presence as we start to close out class. You can also use it to seal your intention a few more times. Coming back to whatever that goal or that wish that you were hoping to work your way towards today. Let's unravel the grip, or release the hands from the feet, unravel the legs rather, take the feet down. And baby windshield wiper. Let's take the bottoms of the feet together so we can open the knees out towards the side, sleeping butterfly posture. Decide how deep you want this in the groin. You can walk your heels closer or farther away. The farther away you are, the easier it becomes. Maybe resting your palms on your thighs, on your hips. Using just the weight of your hands to open up those hips a little bit more. And before Shavasana, this is the last pose, so if there's anything at all that you still need, let's find that posture before totally closing out class. If you found any postures, let's take them. If you're ready for Shavasana, let's take that by slowly, you can guide the hands on the outside edges of the thighs to bring the knees back up towards the sky. And then you can walk your legs all the way straight into corpse pose. Again, if corpse pose does not quite work for you, you can keep your knees bent, or you can lie on your side in fetal pose or on your belly. Again, we want to find a posture where we are comfortable so we can become still as we find the last few moments of stillness that we've probably had all day long. Stillness sometimes is hard to come by, especially in the busy world that we live in. And so not wanting to totally cheat your Shavasana by jumping up, moving on with your day, your evening. So if you can, stay a while. Try 10 breaths. If that feels easy for you, try 20 breaths. And I just want to thank everybody who was able to tune in this evening from the very bottom of my heart for allowing me to guide you on this practice. Thank you for showing up and working on yourself, your intentions, your yoga practice, sharing it with me and sharing it with others virtually. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and let's not forget to thank the museum folks for sponsoring this class. So if you were able to take this class for free, it was all because of them. So thank you to the museum. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Again, my name is Calysta, and I'm here with YogaZo. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.